Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with fabulous concert programs, number 70. This is a lot of music that you can listen to at home because no one's ever going to play these live, as I keep saying. But boy, they make some wonderful listening if you want a nice variety of stuff to program for your own enjoyment for a couple of hours. And I have one intermission here, but you can have as many as you want. We're in the middle of our cycle of Honegger symphonies, a real challenge because although they're very, very great works, they are difficult to program. They are usually short. They are not easy listening by any stretch of the imagination. 4 out of 5 of the numbered ones anyway, and quietly. It's a bit of a challenge. And the second symphony is maybe the most challenging of all because it's written for string orchestra. The only possible addition to that is a trumpet that comes in at the very, very end to play the concluding chorale. And although, one of the things about Honegger I find so interesting is that although the music has a relatively high level of dissonance, that is, it's pretty gnarly frequently, it actually is not really hard in the sort of like, atonal kind of hard. I mean, you always know where you are in it. The harmonies may be difficult, but it has tunes, and those tunes are very shapely and extremely identifiable. I mean, the first movement of the second symphony is all based on a simple motive, or mostly, that just goes dum bum 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 bum, like that. And you either hear it very slowly in solo strings or very loudly in the full string orchestra. But if you know that and you can follow it, you can basically follow the whole movement. And it's a long movement. It's a big piece of music. So on the one hand, I'm a little leery of like throwing these in programs that might be more popular because people will listen to it and go, ah. But on the other hand, when you listen to it, you don't go, ah. You go, ooh, isn't that interesting? That's cool. I mean, it's very expressive and sometimes violent and emotionally gripping music, I think, anyway. And the second symphony is really wonderful because it has this very turbulent first movement. And then, his slow movements are actually rather easier to take because they're very songful, very beautiful, kind of bluesy. He was influenced by jazz, and you really hear that. And then the finale is actually perky. I mean, it's exciting, and it has this wonderful chorale at the end, and it's very fulfilling. And one of the other things about Honegger that I was really struck by listening through the cycle, before I did these talks, is that his music has unbelievable energy. I mean, he was almost a neo-Baroque composer in the sense that once he sets a tempo, he rarely changes it. I mean, yeah, the first movement of the second has 2 tempo areas. But essentially, he tells you what the movement is. He tells you what the dynamic is for everybody. He just says general dynamics. And that's not an electronics company or, engineering firm. That's the volume of everybody. And then he just lets it go. And it goes and goes and goes. It's just incredibly exciting. That's one of the other things that helps you sort of get past that high level of dissonance and gnarliness, the fact that it's just so bloody exciting. So I begin this program with the second symphony. And because it's a work for string orchestra, this is a program built around the string orchestra. Now, the second symphony, of course, is written, like I said, for string orchestra with an optional trumpet. Let's say we use the trumpet. Not all recordings do, but you really should have it there if you can. And so we're going to use the trumpet. Why? Because the next piece on the program is the Shostakovich First Piano Concerto, which is for string orchestra and trumpet. Yeah! So we've got the trumpet going there. I mean, you got to give the guy, he's only going to play in the Honegger like the last minute. And it's only a handful of notes just to double the upper line of the violins and let the chorale melody come out more clearly. And so it's not fair to the guy if you don't give him something to do. So let's bring him back and do the Shostakovich first piano concerto for trumpet, piano, and strings. It's brilliant and it's fun, and it's also kind of sardonic, and it fits well with the Honegger. It's actually easier to listen to considerably and more sort of wacky. It has humor. Honegger was not really a laugh riot, I mean, ever, but that piece is, so it's a nice contrast, but it fits. Then we have intermission, and when you come back from your home intermission, when you get out of the bathroom or are done microwaving your snack or whatever you're doing. I have two more works. Because I like fulfilling programs. First, because the Honegger ended with a chorale, a real Bachian kind of chorale tune. Let's do some Bach. Why not? Brandenburg Concerto No. 3, also for strings. So it's such a lovely work. It's so much fun, and it's short, depending on what you do with the non-existent middle movement thing. Sometimes they do a little cadenza for 30 seconds or whatever. But essentially, it's just two movements that last like 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. And everyone loves it. And it's kind of a reward. And then we have the super duper extravaganza reward. And I love this particular work. This is the string orchestra transcription of the Brahms G major sextet, the second sextet by Kurt Atterberg. It's been recorded. It's on BIS. And it's, oh my God, it sounds beautiful. It's such a glorious work anyway. If the evil god Cankrazans decided to destroy all of classical music and leave only one work by Brahms, that would be my pick. As you can see in the video about Brahms, I'm in that other series. It's glorious. Glorious. And what a wonderful conclusion for the full string orchestra that would be to this program. You'll just go home. You'll have started with this sort of angst-filled and sometimes violent, sometimes bitter, sometimes exalted, symphony, and then you'll have the wacky Shostakovich thing, and then Bach, who's Bach is Bach, Bach, remember Bach, and finally this amazing Brahms sextet transcription, which you'll just be happy as a clam. Let's put it that way. And that's the program. I really hope you give a chance to listen to it and that you enjoy it, especially the Brahms transcription and the Honegger Symphony. They somehow, I don't know. I just think it all kind of goes together. I really do. And I hope you agree. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.